What's up guys, the Bobcat here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness. Now I did mention that I'll be playing another Paradox game, and this is the one. Now a word of warning before we enter, I've only played this game once before. I played as Brazil, and I played through to the end, and that's pretty much it. So I have a very limited understanding of what I'm doing. So yeah, be warned. Anyway, as you can see here, we're going to be getting in immediately. Pity the music stopped. Hopefully the audio levels are just fine, but can never be too sure. So we are going to be playing as Brazil. Now you may ask why. I've already played as Brazil here, as you can see, and it's quite simple. It's because I've already played as them and I know what I'm doing. So it'll be a nice refreshment. Hopefully I can do better than I did in these ones. Now, when playing as Brazil, my goal for the LP is simple. Just conquer the entire of South America and maybe the Panama Canal as well, just because I can. So, I will join you all when we get into the game, or when we actually load in as Brazil. Right then, here we are in the game now. So, as I mentioned at the start, I'm not very good at this game. I have very limited understanding of what I'm doing. So, we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm going to try and go through all the tabs to start off with, and then we'll actually start playing. So, first things first, we've got our Productions tab. Here we can see all our different provinces, I suppose. I suppose it's provinces. Which provinces? We've got regions, then in these regions we have their own little provinces. If we zoom in, we can see here. This one has multiple in it. It's in this region, and this is the province tile. So going back to this for a second, we can build factories here when we actually are able to do it. We also have foreign investment, production, and projects. Production tells us what we produce. I think I never really messed around with this tab, so I'm just going off what it says really. So there's that. Now you can see here that just below production, that our top 5 produces are coffee, fruit, tobacco, cattle, and tropical wood, which is interesting to note. Hopefully the music isn't too loud. I'm just going to drop that down again. Just drop that down just a bit more. Music can get quite loud. These will obviously change as we keep the game going. Next up we have our budget. We're currently losing money, which is never what you want. So what we're going to do is quite simple. We're going to tax everyone. Why? Because it's the best way to make money. We're also going to tariff. Going to cut down military spending to about 30%, I want to say. We also want to crank education up a little bit to about 60. Ooh, go on, there we go. And maybe want to drop down some of these as well. Construction, nothing. We don't have any navy, so it's mostly supplying the army. Now then, technologies. As you can see, we have all these technologies we haven't unlocked because we are pathetic. Our education is 7%, 7.7. That means that, well, it says there, our average population literacy is 7%. So, out of 1.5 million, more 1.50, is it 1.5 or 1.50? I think it's 1.50 million people. So, if you were to do that, well, I'm not going to bother. But yeah, not all of our population is particularly literate. So that is going to need to be sorted out, and our research is also quite pathetic. That is also going to need to be sorted out. So, first things first, money is always really good. Now, first things, we have army here, as you can see. One thing I do want to get in army, if I go to the military screen for a quick moment, is to unlock hussars. So I do want military staff system, which is going to be a slight priority, so we're just going to... Actually, I don't know if we should start that first or work on some research. Well, we've already got research, so military staff system it is. And that's locked in, that research. Industry, well, we'll get to it all when we actually start going through it. For now, we'll just... You can see what it is. All these different ones. Commerce is to do with tax efficiency, admin efficiency, factory throughput, diplomacy, mining, farming, and factory throughput. Culture is prestige, research, education, and some colony as well. National focus points and reinforcement. Industry, we've got output again, more output, better, well, excuse me, more coal and raw goods production, railroads, which is very important. We do want to get those quickly, and also supply limits. So we will deal with more of them when the time comes. For now, though, I'm going to get you guys to walk down here. Now, policies. We can see we've got social reforms and political reforms. We can't do any of these until both the, what it says here, until the upper house want them. And that isn't going to happen for a while, so, yeah. But because we are a HM's government, from what I understand, we can just choose our party. So, we don't really want the Conservatives in power. Why? Well, they've got jingoist war policy, which is very good. But at the same time, they don't let us build factories, which is really bad. So we want the National Party. The capitalists can't expand their factories, but we can build them, which is really important, and is going to be more important. So we're just going to put them in power. Easily done. We have no movements. Decisions, Fatherland volunteers. We'll want to do that one eventually. 10 prestige is really nice. Military industrial complex we're not going to take because it's rubbish. Now here you can see all our total populations. Currently going down, but that's because we haven't actually started the game going yet. We also have national focus points, which means we want to be doing stuff with them. For instance, in Rio de Janeiro, I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm going to butcher names of places, so be warned. We want to have clergymen here, and here as well. Why? Because we want to get our population up to 2% clergymen. That way, when they will actually give us the maximum amount of research points, which is going to be very useful. Trade, I don't know how the screen works. Top is what we export, bottom is what we import. So, you know, try and lower the stuff you import and increase the amount of stuff you export. Diplomacy, that limits our number of actions people can perform, and military is, well, military. Speaking of, we should probably get some stuff. We'll do that in a minute. Now then, who is asking us for an alliance? Chile. Sure. I'll take Chile's offer on an alliance. It'll help when we want to fight Argentina. I also wouldn't mind getting someone else. Maybe Is it Venezuela? I think that's Venezuela. Wouldn't mind getting them on our side either. Form an alliance? They would accept. Sure, we'll do that. And then we're immediately going to fabricate a claim on Uruguay. Justify war. Conquest. Oh wow, it's going to cost a lot of infamy. Oh well. Now infamy is this one here. Infamy is how the world views you, and you don't want to go above 25 infamy. Going above 25 infamy is the worst thing that you can do. If you do that, the whole world declares war on you. Apparently. Never done it, I've only played the game once. So, this is a lot of infamy, but it goes down the less chance you have of being caught. So, this is if we get caught on day 1, we will get 22 infamy. If we get caught halfway through, we'll only get 11, you know. So, it works like that. We're going to be doing that, and we're going to be praying. And we're just going to unpause now and speed up a little bit. Also going to want to improve relations with our allies. Oh, we can't do that because we don't have enough diplo points. Oh, fair enough. Now then, how's our money looking? Yeah, we're making money. Unfortunately, our people aren't going to be very happy because, you know, we're sort of taxing them for high heavens. But we need the money, so not much that can be done about that. Just gonna have to stick it out. See our research points are rising, which is quite nice. Also, the tech is slowly going through. It's going to be done in July of next year, so it could take a bit of time, but nothing we can do about that. It will increase slowly as the as our as our research points increase. So there's that. We're also a secondary power. I didn't mention this yet, but this is our flag, and here is our status. We are a secondary power. We are 16th in the world in terms of prestige, 21st, and 18th in terms of military. So we want to become a great power as quickly as possible, and that's going to be harder to do the later we go on. So speaking of that, what I want to do, first things first, is set a army point here. I'll tell all our troops to go there. and then we're going to build a bunch of soldiers. So we don't really want any cavalry to start off with. Well, I mean, they would be good, but I want to save the hussars. So we'll get a couple of cannons and a couple of infantry, and that will slowly increase our... hey, perfect. We haven't been caught yet either, so that's going very well. Our budget's dropping because we are importing materials to build our troops with, which is not ideal. Do have to watch that. Would like to not go into debt if possible. It's not such a big deal, but it's best if you didn't. Starting to balance itself out now. How's our war justification going? Halfway there. Perfect. As you can see, jingoism increased it by 30%, and the, well, CB generation increased it by 25% for that brief period that it was on. Yeah. Now, I have looked at the resources that we have. So we go to RGO output, we can see, oh, we took 9 infamy. That's perfectly fine. We have a lot of cattle, mostly. We've got some fruits, got tons of coffee. We've got a bit of sulfur there, but it's in Paraguay, so we can't do anything about that. But we also got lots of tropical wood. Now, tropical wood to start off with is quite useless. However, later on in the towards the end game, all the tropical wood will become rubber, which will be really useful. I suppose we do have some grain. It's just it's not been worked. As you can see, the current employees are, well, 2,700 out of a possible of 444 million, something like that. Oh, it's gone down again as the acquisition speed, but not such a big deal once again. All the people who live in this particular area are all working the fields. As you can see, our population is not good. But it'll get better as time goes on. As you can see, we're already up to 51 million. Well, 1,051,000. So that's good. Bolivia wants access, as does Argentina. Argentina, why do you want access? What are you doing? You're at war with Bolivia. Sure. Because I too do want to eat Bolivia. Uruguay's first target, Bolivia is the second. I'm not going to fabricate a claim just yet because claims only last 1 year. So getting it now would be kind of a waste. Now, how are you two doing? We'll group you up. We have... oh, do we not have a better leader than you? You're our only leader. Okay then. Guess we're stuck with him. He's not very good, but I suppose he's the best we have. It won't matter too much though. Our army isn't great, yes, but it's better than what the rest of the world, well, what the rest of Uruguay has. Now, where are all our cannons? You can go down there and join up. You will help with sieging down provinces. There we go. Now, we don't have... the supply limit around here is not very good, so we do have to be careful of that. In the meantime, however, we've just justified a war, so let's declare war. Conquest. Annex Uruguay. Proceed. Then we immediately walk in and walk to the capital. It might make more sense to kill off their army first, but I don't see one, so I guess they don't have one, which is fine by me. And in fact, because I'm worried about the attrition, we'll drop off 2 units and we'll send them over here. Lower the amount of attrition we're taking. I'm still taking 2%, but it's better than taking more than 2. I've got some craftsmen who can't do anything, but nothing we can do about that. We just gotta deal with it. Which is unfortunate. Eventually we'll be able to build factories. In fact, can we build any now? I don't think we can. Oh, we can. Might be worth building some then in that case. Now, where do we have the most craftsmen? There. Well, I'm tempted by canned goods factory. As you can see, this is what they take, and their output. They output wine and things like that. See, this takes glass and fruit and produces wine. I think a glass factory would make more sense. We'd have to import the coal, but we'd export the glass. Well, we'll wait and see. And just because I'm a bit worried. Also, our economy is suffering. Yeah, we're taking out quite a lot of loans. So let's not be doing that so much. If possible. Drop this down. making some money back. It's going to be a while before we pay those off though. It's just because our economy is absolutely rubbish though, and there's not much we can do about that. It's taking a while to siege these down, but as soon as we get hussars, this thing will just drop like a stone. Speaking of, we're about to get them. As you can see, this will be done June, so we're nearly there. I didn't mention this either, but this game runs similar to EU4. Well, obviously it's the same engine, I think, but instead of working itself out monthly, so at the end of the month you get all your money and things, this goes by daily, as you can see, and it only lasts 100 years rather than the 400 that EU4 does. There we go. That's that siege down. Go up there. We're probably going to have to full siege them before they give up. You can see all the wars that are going on. We need to get past this little arrow here, but yeah, it's going to be a while before we can get there. We're going to have to just full occupy them. After all, being annexed is not what you want. Very nice. Got army staff system. Now, next thing we want is probably more culture. Romanticism would be quite nice, get us more prestige, and the prestige would help us get towards being a great power. As you can see, we've actually dropped down. We'll go for it. Should we go for that one? Not sure, because tax efficiency would be quite nice to get us more money. But that would take how long? Well, we can keep the game on pause because research points just stack up. I'm thinking maybe romanticism. The prestige is really nice, obviously. We'll go romanticism. It's going to take a bit of time, but eventually it'll get there. Speaking of getting there, what we need to do is get some hussars. Well, we haven't discovered them yet. As you can see down here, the hussar is an invention, and we have a 2% chance. I think it's each month of it getting it. So it's going to may take a bit of time, may be done instantly. Who knows? We can only wait and see. Might keep that open. But for now, we just got to wait for these sieges to do. We have another cannon up here, don't we? Well, this army can all be one big army, I suppose. And what we can do actually is we can separate off cannon and bring the cannon down here. We do have to be careful because entire units can just die, or brigades even, can just die to attrition. And it has happened. Sometimes I've been very confused as to where my army is gone, and it turns out it's dead. We're going to stick them just there somewhere for the time being. Research points are going up nicely. Hopefully we can get ourselves some more plurality. Plurality is the important one. Where was it? I think it was under policies. There it is. You can see our plurality. It's going up by 0.05 a month, which is not bad. It's not particularly great either. Ooh. We want more prestige. The more prestige we get, the higher in the rankings we rise. Research would be nice, but you can't fight against the prestige. USA declared war, or at least they've got themselves a CB. Where are they? Diplomacy. Well, they've discovered getting a CB. Okay, I see. On Burma. Good for them. Peace offer from Uruguay. Propose peace. Annex Uruguay. Proceed. There we go. We've annexed them. We are not going to extend slavery. I didn't mention this, but we are a slave nation, so we're going to try and get rid of slavery as soon as possible. Another astounding victory for Brazil today. It has become, it has now become clear that Uruguay will and has been expected for some time to be taken into Brazil's patrimony with full rights of national statehood. One question remains to settle is the issue of slavery. Slavery can be extended within our country. Should we institute it? No, we're not. As you can see, we have consciousness and militancy. I think you want consciousness and you don't want militancy. I think that's how it works. But there we go, we've annexed Uruguay. Got rid of that little stain. Paraguay's a real pain because they're slightly too big to full annex. So that's going to be annoying. However, the next person I do want to go after is, well, Bolivia. They do have some nice things. We've got some lumber, which would be quite nice. We're going to want lumber. In fact, if we were to justify a war, Acquire state, 11 infamy. We can do it, and it's not such a big deal. Still, I would like our economy to be a bit more stable than it is. We do need to increase the amount of money we're making. Alliance from Chile. Sure. I don't know why we lost our alliance. Did you call me into a war or something? Don't know. Strange. Oh well, not a big deal. How are you doing? You two can group up. Still got that really terrible guy in charge, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Now then, we probably want to get some factories going sooner rather than later. Cement factory. Now see, I'm not sure if this is what actually we're going to get out of it, or if it's just like an estimate. And if you look at the canned goods, apparently we're going to lose money from it. At least that's what I think it means. I'm really not sure. I think we'll just save it for the glass factory though. The United Kingdom. The coronation of Queen Victoria. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think we're going to save it for the glass factory though. I think the glass factory is can be more useful. Release nation. No thank you. Come on economy, get back on track. We should probably repay the loans first. That would help out. Means we don't have any interest then. Got some newspapers. I'm not going to read these newspapers because apparently there's some sort of event that happens if you get a certain number. Ooh. Temperance League. With the ravages of alcohol taking a daily toll on our people, tearing away every day newfound intensity. At the moral and spiritual fabric of our nation's character, it is imperative for us to bond in defence of public virtue and to ensure the uplift of the poor and the downtrodden by virtue of temperance. For quite some time, our country has been dealing with the increase of consumption of alcohol. Readily available, cheap distilled spirits in combination with hard-working conditions make the poor classes especially susceptible to this deadly poison. So, what's wrong with a few? We could go. What's wrong with a few drinks? Hick, and that would get us lower prestige, low mine efficiency, and lower, well, farming efficiency till the end of the game. Or we could not. And not doing is perfectly fine by me. Also, the everyday needs of the poor go down, which is really good. So, we're just going to stop them from drinking so much. It's better for us overall. Increases our RGO output of our farms and things, which is really important. Upper house has been rearranged. Reactionaries gain some power. Liberty shines. Say this one again. More prestige. 9th in the world now. We can see here the great powers. We have to get more points than Spain. We currently have 37. Spain has 61. We need to crank up our military as fast as possible, as well as our prestige. Also factories as well. Now how's those adventures coming along? Not happened yet. So nothing we can do about that. We currently have 2 leaders. Or 2 extra leaders even. Don't know why they're not in charge. They're much better than Philippe Brass. He's much better. Good defensive one. Apparently we can recruit them. Well, I'm just going to leave this alone. Let it deal with itself. Now the sooner we can get the hussars, the better. Rebel factions are organising in the countries. We've got the suffrage movement, which is fine. I want them to exist. Because if they exist, then we can actually do reforms. So I want them. Uruguayan liberation movement, we'll just ignore them. We do have reactionaries, which is not good. But then they've got no brigades or anything yet, so I'm not concerned yet. But it is worth keeping a big army in the capital just in case they do rise up. After all, I would not want my capital to fall to Jingos. And believe me, no one wants Jingos. Now how are we coming along, clergymen? Just fine. Suppose we can peer around the world for a bit. Because I'm playing with the Heart of Darkness expansion as well, we can actually do colonization. However, unless we become a great power, we're probably not going to do it. And the way we'd do it is we'd annex Sokoto and then just colonize from there. And maybe Ethiopia and Egypt as well. But until then, can't really do anything. I guess there's some more prestige. What we want now is some more money, so tax efficiency. As you can see, we can't use these ones until the activation year kicks in. So for instance, idealism comes in 1840, so quite soon actually. Getting that sooner would be very good. So what I probably want to do is, after we get stock exchange, grab idealism and then just pump out army techs, because our military needs to be bigger. It's not big enough, and I really don't want to build any more infantry until we can get hussars. I suppose we can build some cannons at least, like you maybe. Just slowly rise that military up. See, we're 10th in the world, which isn't bad. We've got 40 points, but we're just behind Spain, and there's one more person in front of them as well. So, sort by ranking, we can see that number 9 is Belgium. And how far are we behind them? More prestige. Prestige rise, we are ahead of them. Industry wise, we're at the bottom. Military wise, yeah, Guangxu, Chinese and all that stuff, they're always at the top. Pretty much because they just have a massive army. China has a lot of people in it. Hey, the elections are starting. Fun times. As you can see there. So, these are what the voters are. What we want is that one. If possible, I would like to try and become fascist. Simple as that. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen particularly easily. Fascism doesn't unlock till much later on in the game. But I'd like to get it. We want Jingos. Jingos are amazing. Why? Because it lets you conquer things really quickly and easily. Here we have some projects. Hey, we've unlocked hussars. Perfect. Don't want that. Ooh. Okay then. Pause. These are the projects done by the capitalists, so we can fund these ourselves and they will build. Probably should have paid attention to these actually. How's Sao Paulo looking? Sao Paulo's at the bottom, so I'd rather not build it there. I'd rather build it in Uruguay, honestly. The most craftsmen are ready to be employed there. Sao Paulo and Brazilian Mato Grosso. Where is that? I want to build it in the provinces where I have the most people. Although, I mean, it's only 4,000 to build a glass factory. It doesn't really matter as long as it produces goods. We want free trade, I think. Yeah, free trade. Although I think fascism is protectorism. Let's go with free trade. We can sort it out later. Anyway, jumping back to the investors for a second. Sure, we'll build it in Sao Paulo. There you go, 4,000. Unpause. There goes all our cash. Speaking of, check out any debt we did. Let's just repay that quickly. Residency, what we want. Oh, I see what I did wrong there. I pressed shift on accident, which is not what I wanted to do. That's why my money disappeared. I wanted to hold control. Shift puts it into everything. Control puts it into just the one project. So now I have a glass factory being built. We want data capitalism. So now we have a glass factory somewhere. Slowly building. It's in Sao Paulo, which is somewhere. Where is Sao Paulo? Sao Paulo. My Brazilian, it's there. Okay, not bad. We're about to hit the end of the part, which we have. We've hit 30 minutes, so I'll have to end this part here. Hopefully you all are going to enjoy this series, and I will see you all next time.